2023 is almost done. 2024 is coming, but before we do, let's hold off. No one wants to rush ahead just yet. At Higher Living today, episode 25, we're going to go back. We're going to go back. And I made a number of predictions at the start of the year. The very start of this year, I said, I predict, and you're going to see here, and we're going to cap it. What was I right on? Or was I a little too early on and will probably start trickling through in 2024? This is episode 25. Before we get on to bigger and better things, it's time to rest, reboot, and reflect. Let's go! I think today's going to be pretty enjoyable. So if you've been watching throughout these last 24 episodes, or you've been tuning in every now and then, today's going to be a good one. Today's going to be a good one. And with that said, we looked at some stats recently. We're coming up to episode 25, and we've seen that 90% of you don't subscribe. You don't subscribe to this channel. We're not telling you what to do, but it's going to help us to get some bigger guests on. We've got plans for where we want to go. We see huge opportunity to provide independent reporting on what's going on in a whole range of different things without a bias or a bias that we have and our lens. And if you know what we're about, join on and listen. But we do ask, just hit subscribe, like it, share it with your friends so we can continue to provide you with the most value that we can. When we're looking at 2023, this needs to come up first. So what was interesting at the end of last year, I was listening to these guys, David Sachs is from a podcast called All In. Anyway, he made this tweet on X at the start of the year, which was prioritize survival. And, you know, it's the 21st of December and we're alive. We made it, year 4, we made it. And some people will be like, what, that's your goal, to survive? Well, one of the biggest lessons I learned from cancer that I've brought into business is that survival is what it's all about, right? Because you don't survive. Okay, so in a context of health, I didn't survive because I was just getting by. I survived because I was better and I was healthier. So in business, coming into our 4th year, did we make some mistakes at OnTracka? Of course we did. Yeah. Did we go down some wrong paths? Did we build some stuff? Did we have some bugs? Did we have some? Oh, of course we did. But you know what? We're still here. We're still here. And you're going to see next year some of the capacities that we have. So first and foremost, we made it. We made it. We survived. And we did that by a number of little things that you're going to see today as we move forward. So if you want to come on this little journey with us today, please do. And we're going to start. Let's go all the way back to January. We're going to go back to January. And at the start of the year, I made some predictions. I said I was bullish on 4 areas. I said I was bullish on healthcare data. I said I was bullish on cannabis research, microdosing, and remote patient monitoring. Okay, so what went well? I didn't say AI. I didn't say AI. And I think AI dominated everything this year. So I was wrong. So I definitely didn't get the first place. Yeah. So if we have a look at healthcare data, I still don't think it's had its year. Cannabis research starting, but I think we're going to see more of that next year. I know OnTracka's got some news for you next year around that. So I think 2024 predictions for 23, probably too early. Microdosing, I really didn't say it hit as much as it could have. And then remote patient monitoring. So interesting. I ran some trends through Bard, which is Google's AI. It's their older one. They've got a new model that's out. And what they say, there's 3 different things. AI was number 1 by far, and we've seen that with many examples. Then they said there's 2 other areas. One was telehealth and virtual care. So that is something which is super important, and you can expect to see a lot more from OnTracka coming into this space next year. So to mark my words on that. And then personalized medicine and preventative medicine, that's been buzzed for a while for me, but it just doesn't get the steam that I think it probably does require. So predictions, Chad, give me like a C or a D. I didn't get it right. When we come back in January, you'll see I've got some more predictions for the new year. And if you've got some predictions that you want to share, throw it up, send it to OnTracka at our Instagram, WhatsApp, or wherever you want to contact us to say, hey, for your show next year, these are my predictions. Give me your top 3. We'll add it in. We'll recap it 12 months later, and we'll take it from there. So January was all about getting started. We made a number of different big releases at OnTracka. First week, we just bang, started pushing product out, and we wanted to make a big impact to start the year. And then it kind of takes us through to what happened in February. So February, it was all about real world data for us. We launched our first real world data study in Australia, had some really good success with that. We were able to pull up products, product information, patient information, obviously all de-identified. We don't know who you are. We don't want to know who you are. But what we're interested in is like, what's your gender? What's your age? What's your medical conditions? What medicines do you take? Are they plant-based medicines? And if you know what I'm talking about there, right? Crazy that came out recently, something for us to watch on and follow as this continues to evolve, and what the industry is going to say, what are individuals going to say when a medical cannabis patient can't say in Australia, I'm looking for someone with experience in that area. Seems that there's a few questions around that, but hey, that's not for us to talk about right now. That's next year. What we're able to show is that it's relatively safe. It's extremely helpful for supporting individuals with different areas, and we're going to show some of that as it flicks through. And that was our first real world data study that took us into a new area for the company, which was great. The other massive thing, who saw that coming, right? Psychedelics legal in Australia? Okay, it's still taking a little bit of time to roll out, but that was February. That was huge news, and we knew we know that our community kind of blew up. You know, it was just, yeah, it was a bit of a special time. How it's going to roll out and what the effects are going to be, we still see huge issues at the moment. There's that Australian campaign at the moment with the shoes, which shows we've got a failing mental health system, and we have for a long time. We've got new medicines. We need new approaches. It's time. When's it going to happen? When are we going to get this? That is the biggest thing, and that's where we need to go, right? Moving ahead, March, finishing off Q1, we launched Smart Data. So that provides you with the opportunity to then start pulling things into one place. One of our community members, and if you're listening, hello, you'll know, I sent you that message recently about that. You said to me, why is all my data sitting somewhere else? I want it all in OnTracka. I want to know what my sleep is like. I want to know what my heart rate is like. I want to know what my steps are like, and I want to bring it all into OnTracka. We also added in heart rate variability to that. So now on a daily basis, you can have all that in one place, and we're going to get better with that. So that was us going into smart data. It also allows us to be very intelligent around biological data points. So again, we're not interested in who you are, but really what we want to show to government and what we want to be able to prove is these medicines are safe, and we're collecting information anonymously, but also we've got these other data points which help strengthen why these medicines are safe and how they are effective. And they are the credible data points that are going to help us moving forward. And there's much more to come on that next year. April. I'm not a basketball player, so I'm a bit excited. Leave it with me. But we saw the NBA. NBA made some big news. One of our predictions, which I'll probably get into, is that sport and cannabis next year, we see that taking off. Applause to the NBA for that. The other big thing we mentioned last year, and this is what I love, this is no better time for me than saying I'm going to do something, and then we do it, and we come back and say, we told you we're going to do this, because most of, in the industry, there's a lot of smoke, excuse the pun, a lot of people, a lot of this to try to pump it up. What we like to do is call out what we're going to do and then deliver. And so coming in with a world first endometriosis study was something that is extremely important for our company and for our mission and what we're doing. We said that was a key area we're going after. And, if you have a look, probably some of the world first studies that we're doing and running exclusively in OnTracka, more of that to come next year as well. So, nice little achievement. And the idea is that helps change policy and access for women, not only in Australia, but around the world. So got to kind of when needed, but not just for us. There's a whole team that's working on that, and we just provide one part, but it is an important part. Moving on to May, got recognized. We got nominated as an R&D project of the year, which we're happy about, and we're going to take that. And thank you to Cannabis for the nomination. Congratulations, Little Green Farmer, for winning that and pipping us at the post. That's how it works. We also in May launched a big clinical trial. So again, having a look at what I just mentioned then, big area for OnTracka, and we were able to step up and do exactly what we said and we were to deliver. Moving forward to June, we've been sitting on this for a while, but this thing we are watching now, Higher Living, we launched, and we've been consistent since June, episode 25 that you're seeing today. So yeah, pretty happy about that. We also went out and spoke to our community. So, which is interesting reflecting with you right now. It's not like I went back to my Twitter feed and went, oh, I have these predictions that I made in January, and oh, I need to ensure that I can strengthen my positioning to make me look good. Not at all. We just started to see the place of microdosing in the academic world, which has a major influence and flow-on effect. And we started to see the place that microdosing was having from some of the failed clinical trials. And it made us think, well, anecdotally, what do we want to see? Because if you think about cannabis, one of the reasons we got started on OnTracka is there was so much anecdotal evidence, but there was hardly any clinical trial data. Very, very limited. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist and there's no efficacy. And so some of the microdosing studies have kind of placed microdosing in a bit of hole that it's not effective. We went out and spoke to our community, and we went and had we went out and did some consultations, and we're still yet to release some of that. It is not that it's private information, but collecting some of that information, and we're still still looking at how we can piece that together to have value and support the individuals that gave up their time. That, from that, some really good little hypotheses that we think, and we still believe that there's a place for microdosing. We may potentially, not us, but I think people may not have just been looking at the right area. So we do believe that there is options for that moving forward. There's no doubt about it. July, pretty amazing. Got to go speak in front of a lot of individuals that are focused on cannabis research. Big highlight was to see like 2 to 3 researchers talking about OnTracka rather than me, like OnTracka. Yeah, so a lot of other people were talking about what we're doing and how we're supporting them, and probably it's such an important moment to be able to see that. It's just that trend continued into August, and we had UIC, United in Compassion, up in Brisbane, Australia. Wonderful time. I've been pretty isolated within the industry. We operate in a bit of a silo, right? So we're independent, which means, and we're like, what is OnTracka in some ways for a lot of people? They're still there. Oh, now they're running trials. Oh, now do you know, like, who are we and what are we doing in our place? We don't sell anything. We try to support people, as you kind of saw with our giveaway. So it was wonderful to be a part of the community and really show some of the capacities. We did a powerful demonstration of some of the data that's being collected, some of the case studies, all de-identified, of course, and all aggregated data, which means that we can pull together some of the information and present that to then be able to say, hey, we saw this flower product, we saw trends in oils, we saw trends for this indication for, if we're looking at PTSD, or we saw this for people with sleep disorders, so starting to package that together. And as we continue to evolve and mature as a company, the impact we can make is going to be significant, and we will be remembering people that supported us. That's just a little note for some of you to be mindful of. September, we're going to move to America, right? So let's shift focus. Recommendation came that cannabis shouldn't be a Schedule 1 where it has been placed. And the recommendation was it was going to move to a Schedule 3. It's the 21st of December. We could be expecting news before the year closes. There's a capacity at times for these things to kind of creep in, as we saw last year. I think it was the 28th or 29th of December when President Biden announced some changes last year in terms of cannabis research. So Schedule 3 announced in September, but keep your eyes peeled because the year is not finished as yet. Pretty cool to get mentioned. Mainstream media got a little bit of attention. I do live a bit of an expat life. I'm an Australian resident, and I will be, and everything's set up in Australia. I had some circumstances personally that went on. Obviously, being stuck with COVID. I know some people like, that was so long ago, but there's personal things that went on, and it's not really today to share about that, but more than happy to go into that another time. And, luckily I was featured, and which was a bit fun, gave a bit of a flavor, again, the pun, sorry, to some of the things that drive me and what I'm interested in, how I stay healthy and how I like to enjoy myself. October. Oh, October. Check this out. Had some challenges. It's interesting that there can be a perception, and some people say to me, "Oh, bro, you're doing so well, doing so well." There's times that this sort of thing, this goes on, and October was one of those months. So let's move ahead. November, we looked at women in cannabis, and it was, beautiful month, amazing month. And you're going to see some of the things that we did there. And if you want to go back and recap some of this over the next week, go back and check out some of the content. There's some really powerful stories and really helpful insights, particularly looking at that month of November. December, this month, I would say one of our best months. We did a big product launch with V4. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Go download it. Go play around. New dosing diary, ready to go. We're already getting good feedback. Everyone's kind of saying we're on the right path. We're going to make some changes and tweaks, which again, we work with our community and say, what do you think? Oh, didn't really know. Okay. Yeah, we can change that. Oh, didn't see it like that. Yeah. Okay, great. That's what we do. That's how we build. We build with our community. And I got a bit of an idea. The team's got a bit of an idea. We get together. Sometimes we fight over the place of a comma, which is all we're trying to do is make the experience better for you, right? Better and better and better. And you'll be like, imagine looking at our first one and looking at where OnTracka is now with V4. That's a major change. So we've matured again. Big up to the team, head of design, do an amazing job, man. Fantastic work that you do. And then we did our giveaway. We did a giveaway, and we're going to announce those winners in January. So if you're watching this, remember, 3 times a week on OnTracka, 3 times a week on OnTracka through this period. And we're going to be giving away some prizes in the second week of January. That is a bit of a recap month by month about what went on, some of the key moments. And I think it's so helpful to reflect on some of this at the end of the year, encourage you to reflect on your own life, your relationships, your interests, your health. Getting a bit carried away, aren't I? At the end of the year, that's what it's all about. And if you want to have a look at your year in review, having your OnTracka, which is personalized to you, and you don't need to use it every day, but just going in and getting some of those key moments and trends, you'll be able to have a look and compare. How has your year been? What were those good points? What were those challenging times? And what can you learn from that? Because it is all about evolving as we move forward. At OnTracka, we're helping build the future of healthcare. And we are confident that you're going to see us do that more and more, but we don't do that alone. We do that together. This is just one way we're providing information, and more of this will be coming next year. This is us going to be signing off. I extend happy holidays, Merry Christmas to anyone that is watching. It is a time to slow down. It is a time to rest. You get some of those people like, this is the time to go harder. Go harder. This is when people are sleeping. This is when you can make distance. If you're there, keep on going. But what are we running for? We run all year. What rituals are left in society? One of them is the time of year that we're approaching at the moment. This isn't for everyone, but if you can, help out a stranger. If you can, smile at someone. If you can, give a hug. If you can, send that letter. If you can, share gratitude. If you can, spend time with yourself. If you can, find peace. If you can, make peace. If you can create a space for love, for gratitude, to rest, to heal, what does next year look like for you moving forward? You've got a little companion in your pocket called OnTracka. to be able to help you with those markers along the way. This is Higher Living. It's been an amazing year. I thank you. My team thanks you. I thank my team. This is us signing off. Thank you very much.